the darkest corners of forgotten realms, ancient forces stir, waiting, whispering, and tightening their grip on those who dare step too close. Welcome to today's journey into Bound by Infernal Chains, a tale where mortals collide with demonic powers, fate twists like smoke, and every choice carries a price carved in fire. In this video, we'll unravel the legends behind the cursed chains, explore the heroes trapped within their infernal grasp, and reveal the hidden truths that bind their souls. Prepare yourself. This is a descent into shadows where freedom is fragile and darkness is always watching. Bound by infernal chains. The realm of Australian had long been a land defined by its luminous skies and the celestial bridges that linked the world of mortals to the heavens above. Yet beneath those radiant heights lay an equally powerful force, the Infernum, a shadowed dominion sealed by ancient magic. For centuries, the gates of the Infernum remained locked, guarded by ethereal sentinels and fueled by the sacrifice of forgotten heroes. But peace in Australian was never meant to last forever. The prologue, a curse forged in flames. At the center of this tale stood Seraphine Vaylor, a warrior of extraordinary mastery and the last living descendant of the Vaylor bloodline. Her family was once entrusted with binding the creatures of the Infernum, using enchanted chains forged from celestial iron and demonic fire. These chains, called the Infernal Links, held the power to imprison, contain, and in dire moments, destroy infernal beings. But the magic that made them so potent carried a terrible cost. They consumed the soul of the wielder little by little. Seraphine's ancestors had accepted this burden willingly. Through generations of unwavering duty, they maintained the boundaries between Australian and the Infernum. Each link of the chain bore the etched names of those who sacrificed themselves to keep the realm safe. Now only one name remained to be written: Seraphine's. Her fate was sealed from the moment she was born, to become the final binder, the last shield against the shadows. Even as a child, she felt the tug of the chain's curse. Pain flickered through her veins whenever she neared the infernal relics stored beneath her home. Whispered voices echoed in her dreams, pulling her ever closer to the destiny she never wished for. The call of the Infernum. The balance between realms cracked the moment the infernal gates trembled, not fully opening, but weakening for the first time in centuries. It began slowly. Strange creatures appeared at the edges of villages. Entire lakes boiled without cause, and storms erupted without warning. Scholars recognized the signs of a much greater threat, a dark awakening tied to the Infernum. Seraphine, haunted by visions of the gates shattering, sought the counsel of Eldrin, an ancient sage who had dedicated his life to understanding the veil between worlds. Eldrin revealed a truth more devastating than Seraphine expected. The chains binding the Infernum weakened because they were linked to her soul. Her fear, her reluctance, her attempts to distance herself from her duty, all were causing fractures in the ancient magic. To restore the balance, Seraphine would have to reclaim the chains, accept the curse, and strengthen the connection through unwavering resolve. If she refused, the Infernum would break free. But her heart burned with conflict. Seraphine had watched the curse destroy her father, twisting his spirit into a malevolent shadow of himself before the chains consumed him. She swore she would never follow that path. Yet now, fate demanded she willingly step into that same darkness. The shattered sanctuary. Seraphine's internal struggle ended the moment her homeland was attacked. A massive infernal beast, a creature of horned bone, molten skin, and wings dripping with fire, tore through the Vaylor sanctuary. The sacred relics her ancestors protected were devoured by flames, and the protective wards were ripped apart like paper. This creature was the Barathrol, a warbringer of the Infernum, existing only to ravage and corrupt. Summoned by the weakening chains, it sought to kill the last Vaylor and break the final seal. Seraphine fought with everything she had, weapons flashing like falling stars as she battled the unholy monster. Yet she was still mortal, still incomplete. Her strength faltered. Barathrol struck her down, ready to end the Vaylor legacy and free its master. But before the killing blow landed, something stirred within her. The infernal inks, buried deep within the sanctuary ruins, awakened. They slithered from the rubble like living serpents of molten metal, wrapping around Seraphine's arms. Their heat seared her flesh, but instead of turning away, she grasped them tightly. In that moment, the chains recognized her. A blinding surge of power erupted, coursing through her veins and igniting the sanctuary with celestial fire. Seraphine rose, not as the frightened girl she once was, but as the binder of souls, heir to the Valar legacy. With a cry of fury and purpose, she bound Barathral in burning chains, imprisoning it in a runic circle until it crumbled into ash. But victory had a price. The chains clamped around her wrists, fusing with her skin. A dark mark, shaped like a shattered gate, appeared across her chest, symbolizing that she was now tied to the Infernum itself. Every step she took, every breath she drew, was entwined with the pulse of the demon realm. Journey into shadow. Knowing the chains would consume her if she lingered, Seraphine set out to restore the seals. This quest led her across Australian to forgotten temples, cursed landscapes, and celestial shrines long abandoned by the world. Along the way, she encountered allies and foes alike, each drawn to the shifting balance of cosmic power. Among them was Kael Draven, a rogue mage who sought redemption for unleashing forbidden magic years ago. He recognized the pain behind Seraphine's stoic gaze and offered to aid her. Though she wished to travel alone, she soon realized the path ahead was far too dangerous, even for a binder. Together, they confronted twisted spirits, battled infernal creatures leaking through fractured portals, and deciphered ancient prophecies written in both celestial and demonic tongues. As they journeyed deeper into Australian's darkest corners, the infernal whispers within Seraphine grew stronger, urging her to abandon her duty and embrace the shadows. The chains were no longer the heart of the Infernum. The final part of Seraphine's mission required her to enter the Chasm of Veils, the only place where one could walk between worlds without tearing reality apart. Within this dark abyss, she confronted the entity pulling the strings behind the Infernum's awakening. Malachar, sovereign of chains, a fallen celestial who betrayed the heavens and forged the infernal links as both a prison and a curse. Malachar revealed a horrifying truth. The chains were never meant to protect Australian. They were designed to create a perfect host, a vessel strong enough to contain the full might of a fallen god. Seraphine was the last link in this plan. Malachar intended to merge with her, using her body as a conduit to step into the mortal world. The more she used the chains, the more her soul eroded, making space for his power. Kael, standing at her side, urged her to break the chains and reject Malachar's influence. But doing so would shatter the seals and unleash the Infernum upon Australian. Seraphine had only two choices: save herself and doom the realm, or sacrifice her soul to save the world. The final binding. Seraphine chose neither. Instead, she harnessed the infernal power within her, pulling the chains tighter around her body, not to surrender, but to take control. She declared that her fate would not be written by bloodlines or curses, but by her own will. Malachar attacked with celestial fury and infernal power. The battle tore the chasm apart, sending shockwaves through both worlds. Seraphine's soul burned, her body shaking under the immense pressure of the chained magic. Finally, with a roar that echoed through realms, she wrapped the chains around Malachar and bound him within herself, not as a vessel, but as a prison. She sealed him away, becoming the new gate of the Infernum. The chains were now part of her, fused into her spirit, glowing with both celestial light and infernal fire. The seals were restored, not through sacrifice, but through transformation. Seraphine had become something new, something neither mortal nor demon, a guardian forged by her own defiance. Epilogue: The Eternal Watcher. Years passed. Australian healed. The skies once again shimmered with the harmony of the heavens, and the infernal storms faded into whispers. Yet stories spread of a lone figure wandering the borders of realms, a woman wrapped in glowing chains, her eyes burning like twin stars. Some called her a monster, others called her a protector. all feared and respected her. Seraphine Veiler became the Eternal Watcher, forever guarding Australian from the shadows that sought to devour it. Though bound by infernal chains, her heart remained firmly her own. And so the world was saved not by destiny, nor by sacrifice, but by a single, unyielding truth. Chains may bind the body, but the spirit decides whether it breaks or endures. Explanation of themes, symbolism, and meaning. Bound by Infernal Chains is a story about destiny, sacrifice, inner strength, and reclaiming identity in the face of overwhelming expectation. 1. The chains as symbolism. The chains represent burdens passed through generations, responsibilities one does not choose but must carry. They embody the internal struggle between duty versus personal freedom. Seraphine's final act shows that burdens do not define a person. What they choose to do with them does. 2. The Infernum as internal darkness. The demonic realm symbolizes fear, trauma, self-doubt, the destructive power of refusing one's own path. Seraphine's journey is a metaphor for confronting one's deepest shadows. 3. Malakar as manipulative fate. Malakar represents systems or forces that try to control people. Toxic legacies. The idea that destiny is predetermined. Seraphine defies him, proving that free will surpasses prophecy. 4. Seraphine's transformation. Her evolution from reluctant heir to empowered guardian illustrates growth through adversity, reclaiming agency, becoming stronger not by avoiding darkness, but by understanding and harnessing it. 5. Core message. The heart of the story is this: you are not defined by the chains you inherit, but by the choices you make with them. Thank you for journeying into the shadows with us as we explored the dark, twisting world of Bound by Infernal Chains. If the cursed legends, relentless demons, and desperate battles for freedom captured your imagination, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more mythic deep dives. Share your thoughts in the comments. Which part of this infernal tale intrigued you most? And what realm should we explore next? Until our next adventure, stay curious, stay brave, and remember, even the strongest chains can break, but only if you're willing to face the fire.